This is the Louie T Network.
See, first come the preseason, and I don't take a day off. And then my team was 6-10, and we ain't smell the playoffs. Yeah, I seen the Super Bowl, but I heard they just play balls. A lot of teams had injuries. Sam Bradford had to take off. Go hard in the offseason, but you don't know the half. Before you know, we gon' look up, and we ready for the draft. They dressed up in that suit top, and I don't know how to act. They waiting, so patient, so they can put on that hat. Who else could it be? But your man Luke. Okay, so when she asks you where you was at, you tell her you in the lab room. Who else could it be? But your man Luke. Okay, so when she asks where you was at, you can tell her you was in the lab room. Yeah.
Me, your me. Louie T, welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I'm your host, Louie. Thank you for joining me to the Week 7 edition of the Hurry Up offense. You know how this goes. It's fast-paced. It's in your face. It's a quick look at the Week 7 action in the National Football League, breaking down all games that took place in week number 7. We start in St. Louis with the Rams taking on the Browns. Rams coming off a bye week. Feeling really good about how that division is turning out. A win would put them at 500 at 3-3 on the season. More importantly, put them in sole possession of second place. Browns, however, have been playing good football. They just haven't been able to get wins. Would they be able to go on the road and surprise a game Ram football team? Browns, 2 turnovers on the first 2 possessions of the game. You want to lose on the road to a good team? That's the recipe right there. Turn the football over on the first 2 possessions and give the Rams all the momentum they could ask for in this football game. You got a scoop and score off of a fumble by Gabriel into the end zone by McLeod. Then you got a fumble by Josh McCown forced by William Hayes, and we'll talk about him a little bit later on in the game that he had. But that leads to 10 Ram points. Just like that, you're down 10-0 on the road. Tough to come back against a defensive-minded team like that when you make those kind of mistakes and dig yourself an early hole. But Josh McCown would settle in after the fumble. He started this game 11 of 11, and he only had about 5 or 6, maybe 7 incompletions at game's end. I mean, he was really efficient. And it's funny because I continuously want to push him out of the lineup and get Johnny two-time in there. But Josh McCown has played outstanding football. I'll tell you this much. If the Browns were playing defense like they were playing defense last year, and he was quarterbacking like he's quarterbacking now, last year, that's a playoff team. That's how good he's playing right now. And so he did really nothing wrong in this game. From a passing perspective, he was money. But even though he started 11 of 11, he only was able to produce a field goal. Wasn't able to get this team in the end zone, so it's 10-3. Fast start to the second half for the Browns as the defense kept them in the ball game. Didn't allow the Rams to run away with this ball game after the early mistakes and turnovers. It was 10-3 at the half. Browns come out, big completion to Gary Barnidge. And he continues to be big play Barnidge for this offense. His 5th career 100-yard game. All of them in a row in this season. His 5th in a row. Gary Barnidge continues to amaze me each and every single week because I'm like, who are you? Who is this guy? I've watched Gary Barnidge. I don't know who you are right now. I don't think Gary Barnidge knows who he is right now. But he's getting it done. 6 catches, another 101 yards in this ball game. And then you get a nice big run from Robert Turbin, and it looks like you're going down to get a touchdown and tie this game up. Drive bogs down, you got to settle for a field goal. That would be the last time the scoreboard would move for the Browns in this game at 10-6. Too many penalties, 11 for 98 yards. You're on the road again, and 4 turnovers, all via fumbles. You can't win like that in this league on the road against a team like the St. Louis Rams that's very opportunistic. You're asking for trouble, and that's what happened to the Browns in this game. You look at it from the St. Louis Rams perspective. Jared Cook's struggles continue. Look, I've been hearing a little birdie chirping in my ear that the Rams have put him on the block. And if you're looking for an explosive tight end with questionable hands that will turn the football over, but when he's on, can be a beast, Cook is out there and available for you. I'm not sure I agree with the Rams dangling him out there. I still think he's a viable asset to this team, but he had another turnover, a fumble in the red zone, looking for points, and he turned it over, fumbles the football, coughs it up when you were going to put more points on the scoreboard. I understand why he is a disappointment, and he's due a lot of money moving forward. I understand the necessity to want to move this guy, but I think he can still help. But man, does he make it tough on you when he does things like that. He's very inconsistent, and I know why the Rams want to move on from Jared Cook. Todd Gurley, big 48-yard run. Don't you call him Gurley. He's all man. That guy is a monster. Third consecutive game of over 100 yards to start his career, or I should say his third consecutive 100-yard game. He did have his first ever game against the Steelers. He did not start that game though. He's been starting ever since, let's see, that Arizona game, if I'm not mistaken, and he's been huge ever since. 3 consecutive 100-yard games, 19 carries, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Finally got in the end zone. He had all those big games against Arizona, some big runs against Green Bay, but did not sniff the end zone. Finally got in there twice in this game, as he was huge in that second half to help the Rams pull away. The Rams defense, though, was the story of this game. They were ferocious. And I talked about this at the onset of the season. I said, look, there's 7 teams that you don't want to play in 2015, and at the top of that list on the podcast, I told you, it was the St. Louis Rams. You didn't want to play that team this season. They knocked Gary Barnage's tooth out of his mouth, for God's sake. That's what they're doing. They hurt Josh McCown. I told you on the pod, they hurt quarterbacks, they hurt players, they hurt Josh McCown. Josh McCown's going to be just fine day to day with a shoulder injury, but you go into these games against the Rams, and it's a double chin strap game. Put them both on. Can't be cute like Michael Vick with one chin strap on. They're going to hit you. They're going to hit you hard. They hit Travis Benjamin on one of these fumbles. I thought they broke the young man in half. It was nasty. He went across the middle, and they hit him, and he went in a different direction. It was destructive, is what it was. That's what this Rams defense is all about. And so, Gurley finishes it off after that Benjamin fumble with a touchdown run to make it 24-6, which is your final score in this game. William Hayes, outstanding game with 2 forced fumbles. That's the beauty of this defense. You really don't know who's going to be the one to get you. It could be Long one week. It could be Mighty Quinn the next. It could be Aaron Donald. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. It could be a guy off the bench like William Hayes that gets you. You just don't know. They come from so many different angles. They come from so many different places. This Rams defense is dangerous. And don't look now. Who's in second place in the NFC West? Nope, not Seattle. Damn sure not the 49ers. It's this St. Louis Rams team. They're now 3-3 on the season, right behind the Arizona Cardinals. They've already beat the Cardinals. They've already beat the Seahawks. They're 2-0 in that division. Don't look now, but the Rams are starting to put some things together. I'm just saying, look out for the St. Louis Rams. They get it done. 24-6 over the Cleveland Browns. We move on to the next matchup. Pittsburgh Steelers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Really struggling right now. Coming into this game at 1-5. But hey, I felt really good about the Chiefs in this game if and only if Landry Jones was starting at quarterback. And who was starting at quarterback in this game? You guessed it, Landry Jones. Who? Landry Jones. So that meant Chiefs were going to have an opportunity, put some pressure on the young fella, make him make some mistakes, get you a win in the left-hand column. That's what they did. Let's talk about the Steelers first in this game. L.A.B. Man, is that dude a beast. And I know I say it every week, but sometimes you just got to keep saying it over and over again, because when we see greatness, we have a tendency to want to overlook it because you get so used to it, like with Tom Brady, like Peyton Manning for years. we saw greatness. Aaron Rodgers to an extent right now. You see greatness and you kind of dismiss it all. Yeah, that's just Peyton being Peyton. That's just Brady being Brady. That's just Rodgers being Rodgers. No, you need to acknowledge greatness when it's in your presence. L.Bell, he's a great one. He's a beast, and every week he does. And look, the beauty of what he's doing right now, you know they gotta feed him the football. They can't win without him right now because there's no Big Ben. So they're gonna hand it off to L.Bell. They're gonna throw it to him out of the backfield, and he's still producing 17 for a $121 in this ball game. The key was the Chiefs didn't allow him in the end zone, and that's how they were able to keep that score down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ten with a pretty toe-tapping catch in the end zone for the Steelers' lone touchdown of the game. Look, it's not going to be long before all of the killer bees back in the lineup. You got Big Ten, you got Brown, and he had a big day, 6 catches, 121 yards, even though one of those catches came via a push-off on my man MP Double Deuce. Still caught the football, 6 catches, 121. Good to see him getting back into the swing of things. And don't look now, you got L.Bell, here comes Big Ben next week. They're getting all this stuff back, all the killer bees back in the fold. That Steelers team is about to get real nasty on some folks. Watch out. But Landry Jones, 2 interceptions on the day. That was huge, okay? 2 interceptions on the day, and I thought that's what they were going to be able to do, were the Chiefs, to be able to win this game. It's to force Landry Jones to beat them and force him into some mistakes. Now, you could argue one of those off of Antonio Brown's hands should not have been picked off. Doesn't matter. He threw the football. 2 interceptions really hurt the Steelers' chances in this game. The defense was solid to me. Too many defensive breakdowns, too many mistakes on the offensive side to win this game on the road. When you got guys running open in your secondary, I saw Travis Kelce wide open over the middle of the field. Good to see him getting involved. I told the Chiefs they needed to do that. Albert Wilson was wide open a couple of times. You let Chris Conley get his first touchdown of his career. You let Charcandrick West go over 100 yards. He had been struggling. Too many defensive breakdowns to win. Too many offensive mistakes if you're the Steelers to win on the road against a very hungry Chiefs football team. You look at it from the Chiefs' perspective, Alex Smith, very efficient on the day. And look, this is the blueprint for the Chiefs, okay? It's always been the blueprint for the Chiefs. Good defense, timely turnovers and sacks to close out the game. You run the football, Alex Smith doesn't turn it over, and you get in the end zone, kick enough field goals to score enough points to win the game. This has been the blueprint for this Chiefs football team for a very long time. They lost their identity for a little bit. Now they're back, at least for a week. And it looked good, and it looked like the Chiefs I've come accustomed to over the last 3 years under Andy Reid. Charcandrick West, speaking of which, huge game, 22 carries, 110 yards and a touchdown. That's what they're going to need from him if they're going to have any type of chance to climb back into things in the AFC West and in the AFC Conference as a whole. Cairo Santos continues to be stellar for this football team. 3 more field goals, no matter what's going on. Whether they're in Cincinnati and they can't get in the end zone, or they're struggling to put touchdowns on the board against the Steelers, doesn't matter. Cairo Santos is going to be money for you. That's what he's been all season. Continue that in this game. The Chiefs' defense was the story, though. They finally showed up and did what I've been expecting them to do. It's what they failed to do against Chicago 2 weeks ago. They did it in this game, and that sealed the deal on the defensive side of football. 3 turnovers forced, 2 of them interceptions, 1 a forced fumble, and a game sealer by Tamba Hali, who had 2 sacks in this game. And that's what I've been accustomed to. The closers, whether it's Houston or Hali, the H&H sack factory coming through with a big game-sealing sack. We didn't get that against Chicago. You had opportunities to do that to Minnesota. You didn't do that then. That's what I've been looking for. They did it in this game, put the game away. Chiefs get it done 23-13, win the football game, get their 2nd win of the season. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to climb back into things in the AFC West. But hey, you can only start brick by brick, piece by piece. And here's a nice win for you against a game Steelers team. Houston at Miami, the ass whooping of the day. And it was a big one, and it got ugly quick. Let's start with Houston. I'm gonna make this one really quick and very, very painless. Unlike what Miami did to them on the day, Houston, 6 straight possessions of 3 and out to start the game. Then you follow that up with a pick 6 to the crib, and then And this is really the big question is, how do you fall behind 41-0 at halftime? Yes, I just said 41-0. How do you do that? 6 straight possessions of 3 and out, a pick 6 to follow after that, and no defensive backbone. They were weak and soft as drugstore cotton on defense. And they allowed the Miami Dolphins to do whatever the hell it was they wanted to do. Oh, you want a Lamar Miller screen for a touchdown? Here you go. Oh, you want a Lamar Miller 85-yard touchdown run? Here you go. Oh, you want a Ryan Tannehill toss to J.L. Smooth, who makes like 80 guys miss and gets like 3 blocks from linemen all the way down the field for a touchdown? Yep, here you go. Oh, you want an easy slant to Rashard Matthews for an easy touchdown? Yep, here you go. You want a pick 6 to Rashad Jones where your tight end, hey, toss the ball up into the air to him and tell him, hey, walk in the end zone? Yep, here you go. It was that type of day. They were terrible. The defense was soft. Whatever the Dolphins wanted to do, they did it and then some. They kicked the teeth in of the Houston Texans, and they've got a lot of issues on their football team. The last of which is Arian Foster goes down for the season, and I think his Texans career has come to an end with an an Achilles tear. I don't think we'll see him in a Texans uniform again. We heard how owner Bob McNair was a little salty about him always being injured before the season started. We heard that on Hard Knocks. This to me is the end of Arian Foster. And look, I'm not one to talk about another man's religion or lack thereof, but he's a non-believer and he's always hurt. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna move on to the Dolphins quickly. 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, 41-0 at halftime. I mean, they were merciless. They didn't give a damn, and they really came out and took it to a Texans team that was lifeless in this football game. Lamar Miller, 14 carries, 175 yards. I love Lamar Miller. I love what they're doing because I felt like Joe Philbin forgot about Lamar Miller. You can't forget about a guy that explosive. You need to give him the football, get him his touches. And he had a 60-yard screen to the crib as well. Lamar Miller, very impactful, well over 200 yards of all-purpose yards in this football game. Ryan Tannehill, 18 of 19 for 282 yards, 4 touchdowns. If you had him in fantasy, that's a dream right there. I mean, he was outstanding in this game. And he really didn't have to do much. He just got the football in the hands of playmakers, and they did the rest for him on this day. J.L. Smooth, he's a beast. Is he not the hardest guy to tackle in the league or what? I mean, how many times did the Texans think they had this guy and he just broke through tackles, picked up first downs, and eventually got in the end zone? He's just a stud. And it was amazing. And just listening to Mike Mayock talk when he was coming out in the draft, Mike Mayock said, he's my favorite player. Now I see why. This guy is just phenomenal. And he's the toughest guy. I'm going to go out and say it. I'm going out on a limb. He's the toughest guy in the entire National Football League. I just said it. And then you got the defense getting back to their dominant ways. Cameron Wake, remember, no sacks before Philbin got fired. He's got 4 sacks in 2 weeks. Or is it 5? I think he had 4 sacks last week and another sack this week. Then you got Ndamukong Suh, tackles for loss. He had 2 sacks in this game, so it's all starting to come together. I told you, this team was too talented. At the beginning of the season, I said, this team is too talented to be struggling like this. Joe Philbin needs to go. And I'm not one that usually advocates for coaches getting fired. This team is too talented to be struggling the way that they were. Now you see why I said that. 44-26 is the final score. Don't let the score fool you. This was much more of an ass whooping than that final score indicates. And they still lost by 18 points. Dolphins get it done, get back to 500 on the season at 3-3. They got a big one on Thursday. Dolphins at Foxborough to take on the undefeated Patriots. You really want to make a statement. Look, beating up the Texans and the Titans, that's nice, that's cute. That's the AFC South though, okay? Nobody respects that division. That division is going to be one of the worst divisions we've ever seen in NFL history this year because the Colts aren't going to be able to hold that division up, okay? The division winner might have 6 wins in that division this year, 7 if the Colts are feeling frisky. That's a bad division, okay? So that's cute what you did to those last 2 teams, but this is the real test. If you really want everybody to buy what you're selling, go do that too. And I'm not saying you gotta blow New England out. Just go be competitive and try to steal you one on the road against the New England Patriots. We'll see what you do in that ball game, but that's going to be a very entertaining matchup. And has anybody else noticed but me that the NFL isn't running Patriots-Dolphins promos for Thursday Night Football? They just skipped over to the Cincinnati Bengals and Cleveland Browns in 2 weeks. Does that have anything to do with Deflategate? Maybe. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. But we move on to the next matchup, to the Atlanta Falcons on the road taking on the Tennessee Titans. I looked at this game and I said to myself, Titans got beat up last week by the Dolphins. No Marcus Mariota, Zach Menberger at the helm for you this game. Falcons coming off a 10-day layoff after their first loss of the season versus New Orleans. You're thinking to yourself, man, Julio Jones has probably had a chance to recover. They've had a chance to lick some of their wounds. They're foaming at the mouth to get back on the field after their first loss of the season. Titans are in trouble. All of that adds up to an ass whooping, another one for the Titans. That's what I thought, but I got something totally different. We start with the Falcons in this game. Devontae Freeman, aka D-Free. D-Free has morphed into an elite back in this league, and it came out of nowhere. Nobody really saw this coming. If not for an injury to their rookie Tevin Coleman, he doesn't get this opportunity to do what he's done and become one of the best backs in the league. It is amazing, but that's what opportunity does. Opportunity knocks, and if you're ready, willing, and able to open up that door and let opportunity in, you too can be the next big thing in the National Football League, like my man D-Free. And on that subject, the torch has officially been passed. It used to be Julio and Roddy White's show in Atlanta. It's now been changed. The marquee now says Julio and D-Free, okay? And Devontae Freeman. That's their show now. And Roddy White, he's now a backup singer. He's no longer in the front singing some lead. He's now one of the backup, and it's fine. Everybody's got a role to play. When you win football games, it's all cool. You start losing, and you'll probably hear 84 start chirping a little bit more, but the torch has been passed. He's no longer a focal point of this offense. You watch this game, there were times where guys were open and Julio got the football. There were times where other guys were open, Devontae Freeman got the football. It's their show now, and the other guys are just a part of the supporting cast. And that's how it's going to be moving forward. Falcons blow an opportunity to get points before the half. Just a senseless penalty by O'Brien Schofield on a peel back block on a personal foul. Why? What are you doing? I hate when guys pick up penalties on returns that don't have a bearing on the outcome of the play. You got my man Paul Worrilow running literally 30 yards down the field, and O'Brien Schofield decides to pick a guy off and lambast him. For what? What are you doing? Be smart, don't be a retard. What are you doing, man? You need to wash your face. You think that's a good idea. And so, no points for you. And you were in field goal range, you were going to get a field goal before the halftime break. You could have used it. You were struggling offensively. Nope, you get nothing and you like it. At least you took the points off the board that the Titans were going to get via that interception, but you should have been getting points of your own. What if he would have scored a touchdown? That would have to come back because of that. You know what? We're not even going to that. That's dumb football. That's not smart football. High football IQ. You gotta have it if you want to win in this league. That's not smart football. Nice game for Nick Williams, man. Nick Williams slowly becoming a bigger part of this offense. With no Leonard Hankerson in this game, I thought Nick Williams was really good for you in this game. Matt Bryant misses from 47 yards. Beasley with a very irresponsible too many men on the field penalty. He actually jogged off the field. You gotta hustle, young fella, boy. These young boys, I'm telling you, man, if you don't coach them up right, they'll get you in trouble. You kept the Titans alive in this game. You gave the Titans every opportunity to steal this game from you, and they simply didn't want it. You got lucky. I'm telling you right now, if it's any of the other 31 teams in the league, you'll probably lose this football game. But it was the Tennessee Titans, and they wanted no part of a W. They wanted no part of winning this ball game. So you got away with one, and then you have the Therese pick at the end to seal it up for you and survive a 10-7 win at Tennessee. Let's talk about the Tennessee Titans side of things. The defense was balling early. I thought Wesley Woodyard set the tone in this game with his hit of D3. He blasted him. I mean, he came out of nowhere and he gave it to him. And I thought that set the tone for what the Titans wanted to do defensively in this game. Then you had David Bass with a beautiful tip and pick of Matt Ryan to set you up with the touchdown, your only touchdown of the game, your only points of the game. So I just thought the defense really was balling early in this football game. And you had a huge Justin Hunter drop. This should have been a big game. He shakes free of the defender, comes back to the football. Forgot one thing, the football, and that's an unfortunate drop. When you're playing against a team that's much better than you playing with a backup quarterback, you need all the breaks to go your way. You need to make some breaks for yourself. That was an opportunity to make a big play, and Justin Hunter failed to do so. The David Bass interception, phenomenal. You need those type of plays when you're trying to sneak a team. And the next play after that was the Zach Mettenberger to Kendall Wright touchdown, your only touchdown of the game. So Titans taking advantage of some opportunities. That's good to see. But this was an almost game for the Titans. At the end of the day, it was an almost game for the Titans. And what I mean by that, there were so many opportunities for them to win, so many different opportunities for them to do some things in this game to really just make the outcome different and have them have a chance to either score more points or put them in positions to score more points, and they just failed to take advantage. Why is this an almost game? Almost got points before the half, but Zach Mettenberger threw a bad interception to Paul Warrior. Almost completions to Kendall Wright. He had two Kendall Wright wide open completions waiting on him, and he just missed Kendall Wright. And if he would have hit him, I'd venture to say that one of those might have went for a touchdown. I mean, he was that wide open. And of course, you got the one at the very end that ended up turning into an interception. You want to throw that in there. That's 3 times he missed Kendall Wright wide open for some huge gains, potential touchdowns even. You got a Delaney Walker, wide open Walker. He misses him. And it was just that type of day for Zach Mettenberger and his Titans team. They almost had it. Got the Justin Hunter drop that I talked about earlier. That was almost a big play and a catch. You just had opportunities. And when you have that many almost opportunities, guess what you almost do? You almost win. But guess what you don't do? Win. So that was the type of day it was for the Titans. Tremendous goal line stand though by the Titans to give themselves a chance. And then they capped that off with an interception by Avery Williamson on 4th down to stop the Falcons from getting in the end zone. I thought that was a crucial stop in the game to really give them a chance, because I thought that was the point in the game where the Falcons were going to run away and hide and make this game look a lot less close than what it really was. But Titans were having none of it. They were going to give themselves a chance. But a failed 4th down to Justin Hunter and then the Threezy interception at the end to seal it was what sealed the fate of the Titans on this day. They had opportunities. You can't have more opportunities than what the Titans had in this game. They had every single opportunity. Falcons have too many men on the field when they're about to punt, so they come out. I mean, there's just so many opportunities. The Falcons really didn't want to win this game. They seriously didn't, but the good thing for them was neither did the Titans. Falcons get away with one on the road, 10-7. Not many times you're going to see in this league a team win scoring less than 13 points. Generally, that doesn't happen. It did in this game. Falcons improved to 6-1 on the season with a 10-7 victory. Move on to the Jets at New England. Maybe one of the best and most marquee matchups of the afternoon, especially for me, because I was really focusing in on the Jets. I asked you, how good are you? No, seriously, how good are you? Litmus test right here. On the road, Foxborough, probably not going to have a tougher game for you this season than that on the road against a family member and your most hated one at that. Gotta find a way to make this competitive. I didn't expect you to win this game, but I expected you to go in and be competitive, and that you were. You showed me some things in this game. Let me talk about the Jets first. Fitzpatrick fumbles on the opening snap of the game. That's not surprising to me. I said, look, this guy is going to implode. I thought he was going to implode in this game. If you guys got blown out, it'd be because Ryan Fitzpatrick imploded. If it was close, he was on his best behavior. Well, I said, hey, I'm going to start. He fumbles on the first play, but the defense stood up, and that's what let me know this game wasn't going to get out of control. If this was going to be a blowout, that first play of the game fumble would turn into 7 for the Patriots. Instead, Muhammad Wilkerson and that D-line took over, rush Brady. Wilkerson gets a sack. On third down, they pressure Brady, force him to get rid of the football. They got to settle for a field goal. That, to me, set the tone defensively and let me know, okay, Jets aren't having a blowout today. That's not going down. Whatever happens, they're not getting blown out because the defense isn't going to allow that to happen. Then you have the second drive of the game. Jets respond to the opening possession turnover, move it all the way down to the Patriots' 2-yard line, and have to settle for a field goal. Look, if you're going to beat the Patriots in New England, guess what you're going to have to do? Guess. I'm going to give you one guess. What are you going to have to do? Nope, not take care of football, even though you need to do that. Nope, that's not the answer I'm looking for. Nope, not keep Brady off the field. That's not what I'm looking for. That'd be nice though, possess the football, keep Brady and that offense off the field. Yeah, that's great, but you gotta score touchdowns is what you gotta do. And you can't settle for field goals because Brady and company are getting in the end zone. Jets get to the 2-yard line. Cumberland, your tight end, drops a touchdown. That can't happen, not in this ball game. Have to settle for a field goal. It's 3-all. Gotta have it. And Ryan Fitzpatrick almost threw 3 interceptions on that one possession. He was trying to be special. Patriots just didn't want to receive the gift that keeps on giving. That's known as Ryan Fitzpatrick. The Jets hung tough in that first half. And despite the discrepancy and disparity in field position, the Patriots starting field position in the first half was the 46-yard line. They lived right around midfield. The Jets defense continuously made sure that the Patriots did not run away with this game. Great defensive effort. It's only 13-10 at the halftime break. And taking a step further, into the fourth quarter we go. Jets have all the momentum. They're up 17-16. They're driving for more points. And they got to settle for another field goal inside the Patriots' 10-yard line once again. And they cannot get in. Settle for a field goal at 20-16. That is another big play and win for the Patriots defense. Chris Ivory didn't have his fastball on the day. He wasn't a huge factor, even though he did get in the end zone on a nice catch and run. But he didn't have his fastball on this day. And the defense, although it was really good in that first half, when they needed stops late in the ball game, they could not come up with them. And that was the difference in the game. To be honest with you, I hate to put a lot of the onus on the defense because they played so well for 3 quarters. They didn't live up to the billing in that fourth quarter when this team needed them most. And that was the difference in the ball game. Go to the Patriots side of things. Chandler Jones forces the fumble on the first play. I talked about it already. Turned into a field goal for the Patriots. Patriots missed some opportunities early to really put some distance in between them and the Jets in this game. I talked about Fitzpatrick almost throwing 3 interceptions on their second possession that led to a field goal for the Jets to tie the game up at 3. Third possession of the game for the Jets. Rob Ninkovich, who got his hands on about 2 or 3 footballs early in this game that gave Patriots defenders chances to pick them off, and they just didn't. Got his hands on another one on that third possession, and this one looked like a surefire INT. Somehow, some way, the Patriots don't come up with the football. They had opportunities. Fitzpatrick was trying to share, and these guys did not want to accept his generosity early in this ball game. Gronk with a career-high 11 grabs in this game. He was phenomenal, as he always is for this Patriots football team. Brady using the wheels in this game. He was running a lot in this game, and he had to. The Jets said, hey, we're not going to come after you unless we feel the need to. We're going to play coverage and force you. And there were some lanes, and Brady took it upon himself to take some yards, get down and slide. And Brady was using his legs in this game. Very impressive from what, a 36, 37-year-old Tom Brady, to see him running around, making some plays. I must say, very impressive. Not many things that Tom can do at this point in his career impress me. That's one of them though, using the wheels to help his team get a victory. Big stop by the Patriots defense. I talked about this already. They were down 17-16. Jets threatening to go up by 8 with a touchdown. Instead, they force them to a field goal, make it 20-16. The ensuing possession by the Patriots offense goes all the way down the field. Danny Amendola with a huge third down grab for a touchdown to give them a lead, the go-ahead score of 23-20. Amendola with a huge game. He also had a huge catch on the final possession of the game for the Patriots on the offensive side to give them a first down and allow them to basically have a chance to run out the clock. Jets sell out on an all-out blitz. They throw to Gronkowski. He walks into the end zone to put them up 10 at 20-30 to really put the distance and really the nail in the coffin in this game. Amendola might have had his best game as a Patriot in this game. And that's what they signed up for. When they signed Danny Amendola away from the Rams, this is the guy that they were expecting to get. He was huge in this game. Patriots get it done 23-30 over the New York Jets. I'm gonna tell you this much though, I walked away from this game with a lot more respect for Ryan Fitzpatrick and this Jets football team. If they play like that on a consistent basis, not only is this team going to make the playoffs, they're going to be a dangerous team and a tough out in the postseason. That was impressive, okay? To go on the road and only have one turnover and to have a chance, a play here, play there, and this Jets team wins this football game. That was impressive. I'm sold on the Jets' ability to make some noise in the AFC. Now I just need to see consistency from Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm still nervous. I still don't trust him, but that was impressive on the road versus the Patriots. Patriots remain unbeaten on the season. Get it done. And now they got a big one on Thursday night. Quick turnaround. Dolphins coming to the crib. They've got a chance to put some serious distance between them and everyone else in the division because the Raiders, all of a sudden now, playing good football. They're at home versus that Jets team you just beat. You can take care of the Dolphins and the Raiders somehow take care of the Jets. All of a sudden, this division looks like it is over. And the Patriots are going to run away with things. They move to 6-0 on the season. And finally, quickly, Dallas Cowboys at the New York Football Giants. 4 o'clock matchup. This was a crazy game. Anytime the Cowboys play, it's going to be crazy with no Romo, no Bryant. I've already said this before and I'll say it again. Without either one of those guys, you're not going to win, okay? You got to have at least one of them in the lineup for the Cowboys to win a football game. And so I just don't see them winning until Bryant comes back. And then once Bryant and Romo are back, then they're going to be a dangerous football team. But until then, they're going to struggle. Lyle Collins inserted into the lineup. He was dominant. This offensive line was dominant. Run DMC over 100 yards for the first time since the 13th season. That guy was running the football. There were a lot of yards out there to be gained, and this offensive line did a lot of the damage to give him the space to pick up the amount of yards that he had in this game. Matt Castle, look, still your best option. I'm not swaying from that. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Brandon Whedon had been in there, this would have been a very, very inauspicious 27-13 loss. It wouldn't have been as close and competitive as it was. Matt Castle made some big-time pro NFL quarterback throws, and he also made some big NFL quarterback boo-boos, which is what he does, which is why he's a backup, which is why he's Matt Castle. But at the same time, he gave you a chance in this game through 3 interceptions. All of them not his fault, but I don't care. 3 interceptions is 3 interceptions. Defense didn't really play bad in this game. If you look at the Giants offensively in this game, they were underwhelming. Odell Beckham Jr., non-factor. No running game to speak of. Eli Manning, quiet game and quiet day for the most part. Defense did what they needed to do to put you in a position to win. You just gave up touchdowns in so many different ways. You're asking to lose on the road. Simple as that. You got the Dez and Hardy thing on the sideline. Look, I really don't want to talk about that because it really is not a big deal. Greg Hardy is a head case. You knew that when you signed him. This is what you signed up for. He's already got 3 sacks in 2 games. He's producing on the field, but this is what you're going to have to deal with. The guy doesn't have everything up here. He's 1 taco short of a combination plate. You put him up with Dez, who is also crazy, and that's what you're going to get. Fireworks, explosions. That's not the last time that's going to happen. So I don't really want to talk about that too much because you know you put that many cooks in the kitchen and they have different styles of cooking. You're going to get some messes, you're going to get some blow-ups, and the food might not turn out as good as you think it's going to. And so I know things like that are going to take place in Big D. But Cole Beasley muffs the punt at the end to kill any opportunity of the Cowboys potentially sending this to overtime like they did against the New Orleans Saints on Sunday Night Football about a month ago. And so Giants find a way to get it done 27-20. Look at it from the Giants' perspective quickly. They score in 3 different ways, and that's why they won the football game. You got a touchdown on offense from Darkwood, their backup running back. You get a pick 6 from DRC, and that was a huge play in the game. And then the biggest play of the day, Giants allow the Cowboys to tie this game up at 20. Seems like we're going to have a nail-biter down the stretch. And on the ensuing kickoff, after the Cowboys knotted up at 20, You get a Dwayne Harris 100-yard touchdown return, just like that. Game over. 27-20. Giants get it done, and really that's the gist of the game. They picked Matt Castle off. Very opportunistic defense. The run defense in this game was horrible, and I thought the Giants were better than that on the defensive side of the football, specifically stopping the run. Their pass defense has been brutally dreadful all season long, but their run defense has been pretty good. Not in this game. It was actually the reverse. The run defense was garbage. Pass defense is what won them the football game on the defensive side. The offense was underwhelming, but again, when you score in 3 different ways, special teams, defense, and offense, gonna have yourself a really good shot to win the game. Toss in 3 turnovers, force 4 if you want to count the Cole Beasley muff. You're gonna probably win the game, and that's what the Giants did, 27-20, to remain atop the NFC East at 4-3, with the Eagles' loss on Sunday Night Football to the Carolina Panthers. It's going to do it for the first part of the hurry, up. See you in part 2. There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie T, be sure to follow me on Twitter at In The Lab Room, or you can like the Facebook page at In The Lab Room. That's In The Lab Room on Facebook and at In The Lab Room on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.